Have you ever wondered why, as we get older, our sleep becomes so fragile? Many of my patients in their 50s, 60s, even 70s often tell me, "Doctor, I barely fall asleep, and suddenly I'm up again rushing to the bathroom every single night. I never get a full night's rest." If you've experienced this, you're not alone. I've heard this story hundreds, probably thousands of times in my clinic over the decades. And here's the interesting but challenging part. It's not just a bad habit. It's tied directly to the natural changes of aging. As we get older, our bodies produce less of an important hormone called vasopressin. When we were younger, this hormone acted like a gatekeeper, signaling the kidneys to slow down urine production at night so we could sleep peacefully. But by the time we hit our 50s or 60s, vasopressin drops significantly. The result, your kidneys keep running all night long, like a factory that never shuts down. On top of that, the bladder becomes more sensitive. Even a small amount of urine is enough to send a strong signal to the brain waking you up. I often tell my patients, back then your bladder was like a sturdy clay jar, able to hold plenty without complaining. Now it's more like a thin glass cup, just a little liquid, and it feels full. But here's the thing, many people don't realize it's often our evening habits that make the situation worse. One of the most common mistakes is drinking too much water, tea, coffee, or even a big glass of milk after 7 p.m. I know a lot of people believe milk helps me sleep, but in reality, it only gives your bladder extra work to do. The second mistake sounds harmless, but really isn't going to the bathroom just in case before bed. Patients often say to me, "Doctor, if I don't go, I'm afraid I'll wake up in the middle of the night." But here's the truth, our bodies are tricky. When you force yourself to pee when you don't really need to, you're actually training your bladder to send false alarms. Third mistake is one that's very common in Asian cultures, but I've seen it plenty here in the US as well, eating a late dinner that's heavy in salt soup or broth. Think back for a moment, how many times have you had a salty dinner, then spent the whole night feeling thirsty, noticing a bit of swelling in your legs, and eventually dragging yourself out of bed to use the bathroom? Salt makes your body hold on to fluid. And when that extra fluid builds up, your kidneys are forced to work overtime at night to clear it out. I want you to picture it like this. Your body is a small neighborhood. During the day, every shop is open, traffic is busy, everything is running at full speed. But at night, that neighborhood is supposed to rest. Now imagine if you forced the kidneys and bladder to keep running through the night, they don't get to sleep. And of course, neither do you. Here's the message I want you to take away. Nighttime urination isn't just a simple sign of aging. It's the result of shifting hormones, a more sensitive bladder, and yes, our daily habits that we often don't think twice about. The good news is, once we understand the root causes, we can start to change them. Have you ever spent a restless night waking up over and over to use the bathroom? If your answer is yes, remember this. You can take control. You can make adjustments that bring peaceful sleep back into your nights. And in the next part, I'll share some natural, gentle, but highly effective solutions that many of my patients have successfully used. Because you see, in medicine, there's one thing I deeply believe: small lifestyle changes often bring bigger results than any pill ever could. And when it comes to nighttime urination, that belief couldn't be more true. I want to share a story with you. Not too long ago, one of my patients, Linda, 67 years old, came to see me completely exhausted. She told me, "Doctor, I don't even have the energy to play with my grandkids anymore. Every night, I'm up 3 or 4 times. During the day, my eyes are heavy and I have no motivation to do anything." As I listened, I saw in her the reflection of so many people her age simply longing for a peaceful night's sleep. Something so basic, yet so hard to find. But here's the good part: after just a few small changes to her diet and evening habits, Linda called me, her voice full of excitement. "Doctor, I slept 4 hours straight. It's been years since I've had sleep like that." So what exactly did she change? That's what I want to share with you, so you can try it yourself starting tonight. Foods that support sleep and reduce nighttime trips to the bathroom. The first thing I often remind my patients: don't forget about tart cherries. You might not be familiar with them, but this little fruit contains a natural hormone called melatonin. Think of melatonin as the clock that signals your body it's time to sleep. When you eat a few cherries or drink a small glass of tart cherry juice about an hour before bed, your body gets that gentle nudge. It's time to rest. I once told a 72-year-old gentleman who was very skeptical about natural remedies, "Just give it a try, you've got nothing to lose." A week later, he came back and admitted, "I still wake up at night, but instead of 3 times now, it's just once, and it's so much easier to fall back asleep." That's a small difference, but a very meaningful one. And it's not just cherries. Foods rich in potassium and magnesium also play an important role. Picture the muscles in your body, even the tiny ones around your bladder like guitar strings. Without enough potassium and magnesium, those strings get tight, easily triggered, and prone to spasms. But when you give your body enough of these minerals, the strings relax. They become softer, calmer, and so does your bladder. A ripe banana, a little spinach with dinner, or a few slices of zucchini can make a real difference. I remember one patient asking me, "Doctor, can just a single banana really help?" I smiled and said, "It's not magic. But when you do it consistently, your body will thank you in quiet but very noticeable ways." Nuts are another wonderful addition, pecans, Brazil nuts, or pine nuts. They're rich in minerals and natural anti-inflammatory compounds that help the body relax and make the bladder less irritable. I often tell my patients, instead of grabbing a pastry or fried food in the evening, try a small handful of nuts. They're not only good for your heart, but also for your sleep. In daily habits, the true key to peaceful sleep, food plays a role, but your daily habits are the real foundation. The first habit, learn to drink water smartly. I'm not telling you to cut out water, that would be dangerous. But spread it out, drink more in the morning, taper down in the afternoon, and limit it as much as possible after 7 p.m. One patient once told me, "Doctor, I'm afraid of dehydration, so I always carry a bottle and sip constantly." I explained, your body needs water, but it also needs sleep. Timing your hydration is what's truly smart. The second habit, create a relaxing ritual before bed. Just like children need a lullaby, older adults need signals that tell the brain the day is ending. A slow walk around the house, a few minutes of deep breathing, or simply massaging your feet. All of these are gentle messages to your body. It's time to rest. I once had a patient, a former Navy man. He told me that in the military, the schedule was so strict that he carried that tension into his sleep even years later. I suggested he try listening to soft music for 15 minutes before bed. A month later, he came back and said, "Doctor, I never thought Beethoven could help me sleep better than sleeping pills." The third habit, let dinner be a light meal. Avoid eating too late, too salty, or with too much soup or broth. I know many families see dinner as the big meal of the day, a time to gather together. But remember, your body needs a night of rest, not an extra night shift for your kidneys and bladder. A final message. My friend, nighttime urination is not a fate we're forced to accept. It's the body's way of whispering, "Listen to me." Make a small adjustment. And when you do, when you choose a lighter dinner, when you reach for cherries instead of cake, when you take a slow walk instead of sitting in front of a screen, your body responds with deeper, more peaceful sleep. Think about it. How valuable is a full, uninterrupted night of rest? It doesn't just give you clarity in the morning, it restores patience, joy, and the energy to enjoy time with your children, your grandchildren, and your friends. I've seen patients who were once weary and discouraged, now smiling again, simply because they found their way back to restful sleep. And I believe you can too. Start today with just one small change. Do it for your sleep and for the joy of living itself. We've just walked through this journey together, from the root causes of nighttime urination, to the common mistakes, to the foods and daily habits that can help you reclaim your nights. And I want to pause for a moment to let you ask yourself, how many precious nights have I lost just because I had to get up and use the bathroom? If I could change that, how different would my days feel? In my years of practice, I've seen that nighttime urination doesn't just steal your sleep, it robs you of energy, joy, and patience in everyday life. When you don't get enough rest, everything feels heavier. Your memory fades, your steps slow down, and even the joy of spending time with family starts to fade. But here's the good news, you absolutely can change this. And the change doesn't require anything drastic. It begins with the smallest choices: a banana, instead of a pastry, a glass of water in the morning, instead of late at night, a gentle evening walk, instead of hours in front of a screen. I'll never forget one of my patients, Mr. Robert, 74 years old. He once told me, "At my age, there's nothing I can do." But just a few weeks after trying the simple tips I shared, he called me and laughed. "Doctor, I finally slept 5 hours straight without waking up. I feel young again." You see, good sleep isn't some faraway dream. It's completely within your reach. That's why I want to encourage you: start tonight. Don't wait until next week or next month. Try just one small change, maybe cutting back on fluids in the evening or having a lighter dinner. Then pay attention to how your body responds. You'll be surprised at the difference. And if what I've shared today gives you even a spark of hope or inspiration, please don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with a friend or loved one, someone you know who struggles with restless nights because of nighttime trips to the bathroom. Sometimes just one piece of timely advice can change a person's life. Before we wrap up, I have an invitation for you. On this channel, I'll be sharing many more natural, safe, and practical tips to improve your health after 50, from protecting your heart and memory to discovering how to live with joy and strength in these golden years. If you'd like to continue this journey with me, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. That way, every time I upload a new video, you'll get it right away. Who knows, one small tip might bring you better health and more happiness. And finally, I want to leave you with this thought. Aging brings changes, yes, but it's not a life sentence. We can still choose how we live, the habits we keep, and the peace we create for both body and mind. Restful sleep is a gift you truly deserve every night, every day. Thank you for spending this time with me. I'll see you in the next video. Wishing you a peaceful night and a tomorrow full of energy and life.